The Silk Road Revisited is a book that I've been writing for some 15 years now, ever since I made my own journey along the Silk Road. And when I met the people and indulged in their traditions and cultures, it struck me that the stories and the histories behind that set of traditions and cultures was really as fascinating and something that's quite often glossed over, certainly in the history books that I was taught at school. And I'm not a historian per se, I'm not actually a writer by trade. I am what I call an accidental historian. But I really wanted the stories of this great region, accompanied by stunning and exquisite photography, to be told very much as I had seen the region. And we purposefully chart the course from west to east, from Venice in Italy out towards China. And that's very deliberate. It's starting with the stories of the likes of Marco Polo and his travels, and then unraveling the other characters, the likes of Tamerlane and Kublai Khan or Genghis Khan, as you go further towards the east. The Silk Road Revisited invites us to take an astonishing cultural and historical journey throughout Europe, Central Asia and China. And it's very much for anyone who wants to find out more about the region, who's an adventurer at heart, who maybe wants a historical flavour but also wants to see through the stunning photography just what the region and what that history has left behind today. Chapter 1 focuses on the role that Venice as a naval state played at one end of the Silk Road. Not the only terminus, given the Silk Road was a bustling network of trading capillaries spreading throughout Eurasia, but perhaps one of the most important, and home to Marco Polo for many years, of course. In the second chapter we explore Turkey, the gateway to Asia. It was also the playground of the Greeks, and then the centre of early Christianity. But while it is the rise of Islam and the Crusades that grab most of the historical attention, one mustn't forget that the Seljuk Empire stretched from the Hindu Kush mountains along the modern Afghanistan-Pakistan border all the way to the Mediterranean, controlling the western half of the Silk Road. The third chapter covers the land of empires, Persia. Perhaps nowhere in the world has there arisen such a succession of great empires that dominated such a large expanse of territory. The strategic location between the Caspian Sea in the north and the Persian Gulf in the south made Persia one of the most significant regions in the history of the Silk Road. Put simply, any traded goods transported between Central Asia and Western Asia on the main routes of the Silk Roads had to pass through Persia. The enlightened rules of Emperors Cyrus and Darius reflected the teachings of Zoroastrianism, a religion from which many others emanated, and they travelled along the Silk Road. The fourth and fifth chapters cover the heart of the Silk Road, Central Asia. The much less well-known Sogdian and Kushan empires, the rise and spread of Buddhism along the Silk Road as a result, and then the rise of Tamerlane and the importance of the stunning cities of Bukhara and Samarkand. It looks at why this region was such a successful middleman between China and Europe, and how the Mongol invasion gave a new lease of life to the region in the 13th century. And finally to the last chapter, on the land of silk itself, China. We understand the move from nomads to settled farmers, and learn about Zhang Chang's famous travels to the west during Han Dynasty rule in the 2nd century BC. This was the start of the opening up of the Silk Road to the west, operated by military outposts to enable the free flow of merchants and their goods, but also, crucially, their ideas and technologies. Launching such a book in the middle of a pandemic when we can't easily travel and many of our freedoms have been curbed may seem odd to some, but equally, now is the time for reflection and for reading, and this is perfect time in my view for allowing such a book to come out to the market. It's a book that I hope many will find inspiration and maybe like to take their own Silk Road journey themselves. And ever since I travelled in the region, I've been really impressed by the people that I met. And it was really the people who made my journey and made the first book that I wrote so engaging and interesting. And what you forget quite often is how the cultures and traditions have arrived there, what the history is behind them. And you hear the stories of the Silk Road, some are fact, some are fiction. You hear the great names of the Silk Road, great conquerors, great empires. And that's really why I fell in love with the region, because it is overlooked. It is a slightly unusual place to go and visit, and therefore a place people simply don't know about. And I hope that this book will therefore give people a little bit of a chance to get some of that inspiration themselves. And maybe, just maybe, one or two of them will take the adventure to travel there when we can again.